Fixing your laptop.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of What Was I Thinking? I'm your host, as always, Soapbox Ant. Special edition. And I got some friends on this one. So for this one, we're going to be reviewing Sinners. And I got my homies, Jordan from the Bronx and Jay Mallet. What's going on, fellas?
So what's up?
What's popping? What's popping?
Hey, man, this movie incredible. I'm gonna say that for right now. Incredible
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, I'll
So
just
I got
I'll
to
just
give
show up and say,
my homie Jay.
not my bad. I'll just say that for
Nah,
me,
real.
this is definitely like a top 10 movie I've seen in the last 5 years, straight up.
That's high praise. Before we even get started, I got to give Jay got to give him props and give him credit for getting the ball rolling. He was in the group chat day one, said y'all got to see this shit, man. Cause I ain't gonna lie. Initially I had heard the buzz around it, the hype around it, but I'm like, if it's gonna be that horror type shit, I'm like, nah, I'll pass because I'm not a horror movie dude. I'm just not. It never been my twist. But once you actually sit down and watch the film, it's so much more than it's not really a horror movie. It's a little bit of everything. It's more of an action thriller, elements of horror. But if you're like a hardcore horror movie fan, I don't think you're gonna really fuck with this movie because it's a lot of patience that it takes to get to the horror type elements.
Definitely. It's one of those like it's more suspenseful than anything. It's kind of just like a in like an all out like slash and just slash all that shit. It's more suspenseful and it makes the movie better when it's more suspenseful, not just like all right, fuck it, we killing everybody right now type of movie.
Yeah, I actually
Yeah,
appreciated that aspect of it because it took about I would say about a good 45 minutes or so to kind of like build up the shit. And I actually appreciated that aspect of it because normally if it's like a regular horror movie, they fucking slashing and dashing within the first 5-10 minutes, and you don't really
Mhm.
get a chance to connect with the characters. At least with this, by the time they got to the slash and dash stuff, you were actually emotionally invested in the characters and the story that they were trying to tell you.
well, you gotta realize. I think that you hit it on the nail, Ant. Where my bad, my baby's going crazy right now. I'm an active father, y'all. So what I'll say is that the first 45, it's like broken into three acts, right? The first act is like the table setting, like we're getting to know the characters, we're getting to know the town, the time period, the story, and like it's more so like a period piece, right? Like set in the 30s in Mississippi Delta time. Then you go to the second act, which is more kind of like the musical. So like you get a lot more of the musical pieces. You get that, you get a bunch of great scenes, great songs. Like the music in this movie is incredible. The
Absolutely.
people look amazing. Like everybody look good. Everything's well lit. And then the third part is where you get the horror. Like that's the action. That's your horror. That's your kind of like, all right, it's hitting the fan. Now we gotta go for it and start murking people out and may the best man win kind of stuff. So it's definitely three movies kind of rolled into one, and each part of the movie doesn't last too long. You know what I'm saying? When you get to know the characters in the first act, you're invested in them. And then when you get to the party in the second act, you're like, oh shit, this is what they was building to. This is lit. And when you get to the third act, where it kind of like where everything falls off a cliff, now you're starting to see like kind of like this team come together and figure out what they need to do.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Well said. So, film was directed by Ryan Coogler, and it's starring Michael B. Jordan. So, what we're gonna do to kind of start us off is we're gonna go through some of the cast, some of the key members of the cast. So, give me a second here. We're gonna pull them up, and we can
Oh
just give
yeah,
our quick thoughts.
Ryan
So,
Coogler, all Ryan Coogler, all hits, no misses, my dog.
Yes,
yeah, I
sir.
mean,
5 for 5, man.
But I
yeah,
will never
that,
watch. I will never watch Fruitvale Station ever again.
No, I can't do it more than once. I saw that in the theater too. That was one and done. But all of his movies hit. All everything he does hits.
Yeah, and as far as I'm concerned, him and Michael B got to they just got to work together forever. Because I feel like if Mike go with somebody else, he gonna fuck his swag up. He got to stick with this brother forever.
That's
Hey,
the
hey,
thing. We've seen Michael B and stuff that Ryan Coogler's not a part of, and not all of them hit. But
Yeah,
everything that Michael
Like
B's
that's
in
the
with
core.
Ryan Coogler is bona fide.
yes, sir. So Michael B. Jordan stars as Elijah Smokemore and Elias Stackmore. They're criminal twin brothers that basically was mobbed up in Chicago, and they come back. They basically come back to Mississippi to open up their own business. And I don't know if I might be reaching with this one, but would y'all say Michael B is like this generation's like Denzel? And by that I mean basically whatever you put him in, even if the script ain't necessarily there, which is not the case here, but in general he can rise above the material that he's given.
Ooh,
I'll say
um,
he's on his way. I wouldn't put him there yet, and I'll say this because initially, God rest his soul, I had Chadwick Boseman as that guy because a
Okay.
lot of the stuff that Chadwick was doing was he was taking a lot of risks. Like he was playing a lot of like black heroes that we grew up watching in real life or heard read stories about in real life. So a lot of what Michael B. Jordan does is more on the fantasy side, which is great. But I think that he hasn't really hit the level where Denzel was kind of like, these are real people. A lot of Michael B. Jordan stuff are kind of like fantasy action kind of people, which is not a bad thing. But I think as far as range in this movie centers, this is Michael B. Jordan's best range that he's had because he
yes, it
has
is.
two different characters and they have two different personalities, two different styles, two different everything, and you can see the difference between the two. There's subtle things that he did that you knew when you was watching Smoke on screen, and you knew when you was watching Stack on screen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was one of my main takeaways. What about you, Jay? Any thoughts?
They have like the thing with him, with these two characters, he has like a certain cadence for each one, and that made them very like separable. So you don't see like it's just Jordan, Michael B. Jordan playing two people. That's what I liked about those two characters. I don't. I would give him. I'm 11 to ghetto. My bad. Uh, I think he's one of the best like male actors. Like Jordan said, Chadwick was like he played so many great characters and took so many risks with it. And like Michael B. Jordan, I think like his crown. This could be like one of like his crowning like roles. Like how Denzel had Malcolm X. Like this could be like his crowning role to get him over the top. I actually like Denzel's son. Like you ever was it John David Washington?
Yeah.
Like he did
Yeah.
like what's that fucking movie? It's like
Well, Black Klansman,
that one. He did that one. He did it's like that exception movie that like everybody like kind of disliked low key.
Tenet.
Tenet, yeah, Tenet. That was really. I actually like that one. Him and like I put him up there with like it's like Daniel Coolig. What's that? I can't. I'm gonna butcher his name. Like the guy who played that in that Fred Hampton movie.
Daniel Kaluuya.
Daniel Coolig. Yes, he's really good. Like he's a really good actor.
Yeah, keep
I'm
that up
surprised
there.
he wasn't in this bitch. Like I'm like they should have like a little forward click in this motherfucker. Like for real. Like I feel like if Jonathan Majors didn't do what he did, he'd have been in the movie. Like I respect. I
Yeah, I
can
can see that.
see it. I can see it.
I can see it too.
I like he probably have been he probably been
Like
smoked,
secure. He
but
would have been like he
he
would
would
have
have
been like a bully type role. He would have been like a bully type character. I could have saw him doing that.
Yeah, I
yeah
think the story would have always been Smoke and Stack being Michael B. Jordan. I think a lot of people's trying to overdo it by saying that Jonathan Majors would have been nah. This was always supposed to be about twins, and there's a reason for that.
yeah
And like like not a lot of actors can do that, and it's really cool to see that Michael B. Jordan was able to kind of like expand what he's usually doing to get this down.
Yeah. And it's not easy. Like I said, like people think it's easy, but it's not. I mean, the technology wise, it's easy to do the split screen than it was when we was coming up, and definitely before us, our generation. But to to create one character is hard enough. To create two distinct characters and you're supposed to be twins on top of it is hard as hell to pull off. So definitely big time props to him for that. So next up, I got a feeling we're gonna be divisive on this next one. We got Haley Steinfeld, and she plays Stax X. What did y'all think of her character?
Shout out to 116 Black Dog.
mm-hmm uh-huh
Yeah, we go.
But
Yeah, I guess we because we like I said we're not. I should have said this up top, folks. We're not doing like a blow by blow, scene by scene. Go out and watch the movie for yourself. Movie almost
it's
3 hours,
it's
so
incredible.
we ain't doing that. It's an incredible movie, but we're not doing like a scene by scene. So we're going to like jump around a little bit in terms of like
Mm.
different moments. So and also spoiler warning: if you haven't seen the film yet, don't watch this video yet because we're gonna get into it. The movie been out almost a month,
Mm.
so I don't know what else to tell you at this point.
Yeah, you're too late at
Yeah,
this point.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, bro.
I'll be
Sorry,
polite.
bro. It's
I'll be
over.
It's
polite.
been a month, bro.
It's over,
If
dog.
y'all watching review content about Sinners at this point, then you just not gonna go watch the movie. It's just
Yeah,
let's just be real.
Yeah, you wildin' dog.
You
That's
bugging. Yeah.
yeah. No, but
out.
I actually no. She was good in this movie. I wasn't real familiar with her game prior to this film, but she made a fan out of me. Like she really held her own.
Yeah. So me
What?
personally, I've only ever seen her in like a couple of things. Like I've seen her in Hawkeye, the Marvel comic show.
Yeah,
And I've seen her in what's the movie? Pitch Perfect 2. So like I've only seen her as like a little kid almost, like a teenager. So in this movie, she's playing like a full adult. So that kind of threw me off. But she nailed it. She nailed it. I think that a lot of what her role required her to do was to kind of like be different than what she normally is. Cause like
Mhm.
ultimately she's just a white girl. But in this movie, she has to have
116.
a little bit of like soul and seasoning, and she kinda nails it. So I
116. You
appreciate
know that 116 was kicking her ass, boy.
it.
She got it down pat. First of all, fuck Josh Allen. Uh, I think her and shit Smoke had the best chemistry. Her and Stack had the best chemistry when it came to the couples.
yeah,
She did very fucking well in this. Like I never heard of her before until like what that Spider Man dude was like harassing her or something. Like that's the only time I've really heard. The only time I really heard was that stuff. No, I think she played it very well. I She went out pretty bad, but like
yeah. That
you
yeah. It was a part where her white that like 85%
Mhm,
percent white came out, but
mhm,
like it was like weird. Like in my opinion, I had like an up and down relationship with her. Like when we were first introduced to her, I'm thinking like, oh shit, it's one of them white devils trying to trap us.
mhm,
And
mhm.
then like she kind of won me over when they was at the juke joint, and like Stacks was breaking it down to her, like, look, you good, you got a rich white husband, y'all living on a nice side of town, and then she was like, no, I don't want that. That's that she no no. She said I wanted you. I wanted that black. I wanted that BB. I wanted
she
that. I
she
wanted
want that
you.
she want that
She want that
she wants
Sarah
that
J special, dog.
black.com dog. That's what she was looking for.
He wanted that
She
long.
she want
And
that
I'm
that
like,
Sarah J special, dog.
yeah,
that's that's crazy.
Yeah, she had my man stacking the chokehold, bro.
yeah.
Brother,
I ain't gonna hold you. It was some, you know what I mean? When that swag came out, yeah, yeah.
All right,
she,
all right, all right. I gotta ask y'all a question, bro. I gotta ask y'all a question.
All right, shoot.
When she got turned and she had Stack in the closet and she hit him with that drool in the mouth, can I say
fuck no,
that I
baby.
almost fell out my body when I saw that part, bro?
No, no,
I'm like,
no,
oh
nope,
no, what are we doing?
nope,
Well, that was too much for you. Like let's start here. Were you on the positive or the negative side of that equation?
brother. No, fuck that. No, Drew. Look, we ain't doing no. It's 1930s, bitch. What you talking about? Polio still exists.
I know that spit had all kinds of gangrene and fucking dysentery and shit.
Gingivitis.
Yeah,
I know they ain't brushed their teeth right. They was brushing their teeth with baking soda. Come on, dog. What we
They
talking
had
about?
cocaine.
yeah.
She had cocaine in her system.
Look, I'm not out here to kink shame nobody. I know like when you getting it in, it's generally all bets is all. But like
I
certain
wish
things
it
I can't
would.
fuck with. Saliva in my mouth, like I can't do that. Certain things that I'm like, yeah, nah, we gonna have to cut some things out.
Yeah, nah, I wish a bitch would. Not in this economy. Niggas coming back.
Nah, that man was
Niggas
a
was
creep
there,
because he
bro.
was like, "Hold up, you drooling?" And she was like, "You want to taste it?" And he ain't stop her. I'm like, Stack, what are you doing, brother?
Hey, brother, died for the coochie. That's
he
crazy.
Yeah, look. I guess he had some situations going. I guess he wasn't trying to fuck up the mood, but I'm like, we would have to have a discussion prior. Like, yeah, we ain't doing the I don't do saliva,
Yeah,
but
no,
that's
we
just
ain't none of
me.
that. We ain't none of that.
Let's see. Who else we got? Oh yeah, another MVP coming up. We got Miles Catton, Preacher Boy, Sammy Moore. He was an
Boy,
inspired musician, and he was the cousin of Smoke and Stack. Did his thing, man.
Look,
boy,
this is
boy,
his first movie. He's predominantly a singer. He learned how to play guitar just for this movie. Log, give him everything.
oh
Give
yeah,
him everything. He's only 20 years old. So that
Oh
means he
shit!
was like
I didn't even know he was
18,
that
19
young.
when he filmed this. Give
Yeah.
him everything, bro. Give
that
him
boy
everything.
said. Mm-hmm. Oh, all right, brother. This is not your
Man,
real voice. That's not
that
your
man
real
started
voice.
singing and started sounding like a 60-year-old cropper, man. Bruh, where
That
did you
nigga.
get that pain from? You still only got hair on your balls.
He sound like one of my cousins, Mississippi boy. I was like, oh shit.
Damn.
We're going back to the go because like my family lives in Kosciuszko, where it's like centered at. It's over by where my family like stayed, and half of them lived in like them slave houses when I was growing up, and it's either you stay in them damn slave houses or you go 30 miles away to the hotel or you stay in the damn roaches in the house because boy, the Mississippi house is dirty. They're real bad. Sorry, my family is just country as hell. So with him, I heard the accent, the clothes, all that stuff, like the innocence, man. Brought me one of my cousins.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, that's kind of like what threw me off a little bit. Like I said, I told y'all like before we hit record on this thing, like initially like the slave type elements that was coming at me when the thing first started, and I gotta say this, Hollywood, there is more than one way to build a black church. My God, I feel like yeah, I feel like every whether it's Tyler Perry, I'm talking about going back to the '80s, man. It seemed like every movie that's centered around black culture has that same small ass, rusty, dusty ass white church in the middle of nowhere that everybody walk up to.
hey,
Tyler
hey,
Perry's still making money off that bitch. Like,
Oh man, he
hey,
had a full
dog.
house. He had a full house in that mug, man.
Yeah, man, he had a full house.
He,
You
he
can't hate
got
on
the
that,
word out.
brother.
Look, I'll say this. I'll say this about the setting, right? So like my family's also from like North Carolina, South Carolina. Like we're from like we have farmland and shit. Like we country, right?
Mm,
A lot of the stuff that they was doing in the movies is stuff that I saw when I was growing up. I grew up
man.
where we had to use the outhouse in the back. You know what I'm saying? Like we had to chop wood to make a fire type shit. So a lot of the stuff that they was doing, even though they're like picking cotton like with their hands and shit, I'm like that I've never seen. But
I
but
seen my uncle had a cotton field. My uncle had nigga. This is 2005. That nigga
yeah,
had a cotton field.
yeah.
damn.
And I'm like, so my thing is, like I said, put in that's the whole purpose of that first part of the movie is to put you in the time frame. And us as black people in 2025, yeah, it's kind of we much further removed from the 1930s than anybody that we would even know to talk to. But you got to think that's not even 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was our
Yeah,
reality. You know what I'm saying? That was all we could do when we was living down there. And this is like, 50 years after slavery's done, but we're still like, that's still all we could do. So you have to really think about all the progress that we had to make to even get to the point we at now.
yeah,
So that's kind of like what that part of the movie did for me was it kind of helped me reconnect with stuff that I hadn't really thought about in years.
Yeah, and like once I yeah, like kind of like you, Jordan, similar. I don't have people from down south, but just using common sense and thinking about it was segregation as far back as what the 50s and 60s, which it ain't that long ago. You talking about that's we barely talking 50 years. So once I kind of like put it in that perspective, I'm like, okay, I chilled out. And plus, this is kind of like I look at this film as kind of us taking that narrative back a little bit and showing that because there were black people that was thriving during that time period.
yeah.
So it wasn't like it was just like all doom and gloom. So I'm glad from that aspect. We actually from that aspect we actually did kind of like take back the narrative a little bit. So I'll give the movie props for that.
I mean, you also got to think about the fact that they're showing all of the imagery and stuff. It wasn't like they was out there suffering. They
Yeah,
were just
yeah,
working. It was just work to them. You know what I'm saying? Like they had your boy Cornbread in the field picking cotton with his pregnant wife. It was just work. He was just doing a shift.
yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
much.
bro. But
Oh
everybody's
yeah, so
getting paid.
yeah, for sure. Oh, let me ask y'all something. Because and I think I like this aspect of the film, and I guess it goes back to my Goodfellas fandom. For anybody that's familiar with Goodfellas, the movie kind of starts off in the middle, and they did the same. They used the same trick here, where they kind of showed preacher boy walking up to the church, basically the aftermath of everything, and then it kind of goes backwards from there to kind of lead you to how they got to that point. Are you guys fan of that movie trope where they kind of give you the middle first and then build up to how they got to that part?
It
That's
literally, my wife and I was in the theater and we saw that part and we was like, "Oh, are they doing a this is how we got here shit like in all the
like,
other black movies?"
Yeah.
ain't this the Players Club? The shit burnt
you
down.
you wondering how I got here? Well,
Yeah,
I
you
gotta
want to know?
take you back.
It's a day, nigga. I'm like, God damn, a day. All
Yeah,
that
I don't
man
know.
in a day is crazy.
I mean, what it does do, and what I did like was that it did kind of set you up for stuff goes down and you just don't know how far it goes. So that was kind of also it for this movie. It gave me some hesitance because I'm like, bruh, he got scratches, his guitar broken, he bleeding. I'm like, what am I about to see? Like, I'm like, I don't know if I really want to sit in this theater. That's kind of
Yeah.
what it did in the beginning because I'm like, what the scratches for? Who scratched you, bro? Why that looks like a monster?
Yeah.
Is that Blade? Was it Blade?
Yo,
Like,
Where
yo,
the fuck was Blade at?
yo. I ain't gonna hold you. When I saw a preacher, I'm like, am I watching Tales from the Hood? Did
oh
somebody raise up
yeah,
Clarence Williams? I'm like, because I'm saying the fro and the teeth. I'm like, oh shit, did they bring that nigga back from the dead or something? Like, did I walk into the wrong
yo,
theater?
yep. That's how I felt, like a Tales from the Hood type shit.
Oh man, so who we got up next? Now this one is Buddy Guy. So he played the older version of Preacher Boy, like in the end credit scenes and all that type of stuff. So he wasn't in the actual body of the film. Real jazz musician doing his thing. Old head OG. What do you think of his brief pop up in the movie?
I, I think it was about him. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Basically, the movie is about him, but there's like two different like versions. Like there's like the version of like him, like being like that happened to him and where he like gets old and chooses music and everything. But there's another story. I forgot what his name is. Like the second credits where he's like playing a guitar and he looks
Yeah,
up at
I know you're
something.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was the
that
second
story.
entry. Yeah.
That story is loosely based on some guy who sold his soul to the devil to become a
I know
musician.
exactly. I know. Yeah, I can't remember the guy's name either, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
Like
like I
like
think that's kind of like the inspiration
yeah, like he basically sold his soul to the devil to become a great musician, but he died like early. He
early.
died
Yeah,
really like probably a year after that shit or something.
like he was like he was very much in the genre of like this Delta blues kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and he was very influential of people going forward. But yeah, you're right. I think that was kind of what Ryan Coogler had wanted to do was kind of almost pay a little homage to him with using Buddy Guy as like the older version of him that made it, and basically kind of like you was able to use the music gift to profit from it.
Hmm.
I
So
did find it funny though. I'll say that when we got to the first post scene credit thing where you seeing my man playing the guitar and stuff in the club and
yeah.
everything, and it's like 1992. So I'm like, okay, why are we here? Like I didn't like obviously this is before we know what happens with Stack and with old girl on 116th. But once you get to that point where they reveal like, yeah, nah, we got turned, but we just never died. It made me want to watch the movie again because I'm like, how the fuck did they survive then? Because Stacking them is fighting in the club, and I think the white girl just ran off somewhere. But I'm like, what the fuck's going on? So what I did was actually had watched the scene at the end where Smoke is about to clap the KKK, and they locked up the barn, and they locked up the club, and they loading up all the weapons and stuff. What I realized was that the reason why he's locking up the barn and he's like chaining it is because Smoke is in there or Stack is in there, whichever one's turn is in the barn. So you got to keep it dark to keep the sunlight out. And they locked it because they didn't want, if he wasn't able to kill all the KKK, he didn't want them to go in there and try to kill him. But like that was kind of like how he was able to survive, was he just stayed in the barn until night. And then once night turned over, he got out. So it's kind of crazy.
It is. Now,
Mhm.
yeah, we talking about it. Might as well kind of get that part of the discussion in here now. With the post credit scenes and all that, do you think that they left room for a prequel type film, or do you think we'll see a sequel, or do you think this is better as a one and done?
Real shit should have been Blade. Real shit.
Oh shit!
Real shit.
Man,
This should have
Wesley
been
Snipes pop
this should
out.
have been like the post credit should have been fucking Blade. It should have been
Yeah,
Smoke. It should have been stacking that chick and fucking Blade sitting there
and
like
he pop out like, man, some motherfuckers want to skate uphill.
Ah, Jesus.
Nah, I think
it's 2030. This nigga still alive and Blade just chilling there like, yeah, nigga, I see.
you mess with the white girls, huh?
Bro, this is the way, man. Like,
Nah,
how do you
I think
fucking
this is
bleed?
probably like, I think he did that just to kind of like wrap the movie up. I don't see him going back to this anytime soon. I don't think he needs to. Like that's kind of why that's why this movie did so well, is because it's an original movie. Like
Yeah.
it's an original story. It's something he created. It like whatever the fuck he thought about this movie, he created it and put it on screen and made gold out of it. So I think that if he ever goes back to this, the movie that I would want to see would have nothing to do with these people. It would have to do with them Native American niggas that was hunted a
Mm-hmm.
vampire and dip. That's the movie I want to see. I want to know about fucking whatever fuck, like I don't know, the Native American tribal vampire hunting movie. That's the movie I need to see. Because I
Yes.
want to know who the fuck was they. They was in and out in 2 seconds.
Hey, them niggas, those people that's minding their business. They said, you ain't about to, he ain't in here? All right, baby. All right, shawty.
That man, he popped up. He's like, yo, you seen a burning white person come by here, bro? And they saw them KKK hoods, and it's like, all right now, y'all
Yeah.
be good.
Yeah.
Y'all be easy.
All right. So let's see. Next up, we got Jack O'Connell. Sorry about
Yo,
that. Remnick. He
yeah,
was the Irish vampire. He basically is the this is when the horror element kicks in. And I'll be
yeah,
honest, I was cool with it. By this point in the film, I was locked in. So they could have did almost damn near anything. I would have been locked in.
bro. He's one of the funniest people in this movie.
Yeah.
Like he was. First off, shout out to him. That Irish jig jerk that they was doing when they was all outside, and he was doing his little freestyle Irish rapping and shit. I was with it, bro. I ain't gonna hold you.
I was like,
That party looked lit.
Yeah, it was
this shit kind
funny.
of, this shit
That was
kind of
good.
tough.
I'm not going. I might have went outside for that party. That party looked fun.
That nigga. Wait, he said, wait, was supposed to ask him, y'all the clan? He was so offended. He was like, us.
Us,
He's like,
the
he was
clan.
like, what? Me?
Yeah. He was tight. He
I'm
Yeah.
was
the
like, wait a minute,
vampire. What
no,
you mean?
sir. I do not sort with that sort of element.
Well, I'm a
Now,
vampire though.
Nah, wait, time out, hold up. When he
all
was
right.
trying to get in and he saw 1/6 teeth up in there, he was like, hold up, how'd she get in?
Wait
We'll,
a minute.
we'll get to
Where'd
her.
she go?
We'll get to her. But Annie shut that shit down. Like she's don't even say nothing. She fam. Don't even worry about that.
Mm-mm. He was like, I don't know.
Cause
I
I
cause
don't
don't,
see no skin folk over there.
cause soon
I
as you
don't
get
know
into the
about that,
specifics
brother.
of she like 1/16 and all that, that would have changed the whole dynamic.
Nah,
He
my
said,
man, he ain't seen no
I don't know
1/16
about
in
that
her.
one, Chief.
Yeah.
Nah,
He-
but this is the
But
part where I was kind of like with this character in general, where I was thinking about the symbolism of the vampire and the Jim Crow days. What did y'all think in terms of symbolism? What this meant represented? How basically other cultures try to like steal and drain the blood from us, literally. Because I
Yeah.
mean, no
bro,
disrespect. to
Him
any
being
other.
Irish made it like, mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put it out there. Like, no disrespect to any other cultures. Everybody contributes to this world, but in terms of the overall picture, in my opinion, nobody contributed more in terms of like just building the country, in terms of like culture, entertainment, the whole bit than black people, than black folk. I'm sorry.
We still doing it
Agree.
today.
We exactly.
Forever and ever,
And
dog.
like we don't follow trends. We create them. I've
Mm-hmm.
always said that.
Like this whole way that they talk about this is Gen Z speak. That ain't Gen Z speak. That's just how we talk.
It's how
It's
black
just
folk
Exactly.
that
talk.
white kids took it and thought that it sounded cool, and now all everybody wants to label it Gen Z. Ain't no Gen Z. We was talking like that for 20, 30 years. It's not our fault y'all got the shit late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, y'all
Live for
catching up. Y'all late
everything.
to the party.
Live for everything but a lynching.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
But
Listen,
no,
man.
like I'm with you on kind of the symbolism of him being like someone that wants to just like absorb it and assimilate, and especially because when he was giving his speech about like come out here with us, it's fun or whatever the case is, I'm like, yo, we not gentrifying, we not
Yeah.
doing that, and that's exactly
Yeah.
what it was because it was like they all had one kind of like mind, like they all shared one kind of like I guess like brain or whatever, and basically whatever he said was what went for everybody else. If he felt pain, they felt pain. But like I noticed that whenever the other vampires, if they felt pain, he didn't give a fuck. He didn't really care, and that's kind of like what that represents. Is once they get to you, once they get us into their into their grasp,
Mm-hmm.
we're expendable to them. They don't really give a fuck.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, when Stacks and them can't remember which one it was, might have been Stacks. They was like, look, y'all got your own spot across town. Won't y'all rock out there and just let us have our own thing?
Mm-hmm.
No, we all family, man. We want to come in. I'm like, nah, he shut that shit down real quick. Said, no, y'all can stay over there. We got our own thing over here. Let us have this. Y'all got everything else. Can we have
That,
this spot?
Hey, hey,
that
hey.
damn preacher boy.
Oh yeah, we'll get to him because that scene in the juke joint where he was man. Next up, this one is going to be a interesting one because I know you guys had a little bit of a back and forth. The MVP of the film, in my opinion.
Oh, brother.
Queen.
Oh,
Queen. And I
Uh,
would
brother.
hear nothing
Help me
else.
out with the name, with the pronunciation, because I don't want to butcher
It's
this
You,
woman's name.
Wunmi Mosaka, I believe.
Thank you,
she
thank
got
you,
some.
sir.
She got some great A's. Some
Yes,
great
sir.
E's.
Yeah, man,
Mm,
Annie. So she is Smoke's wife, and a lot, especially when you get to the juke joint scene, she's the one that held it down to the end, man. She basically
Yes.
fell on the sword for everybody.
Well, see, the thing is that I liked about her character, especially, was that once they were trying to figure out what shit was, like, they was like, is this a hint? Is this a spell? What is this? Once she was like, nah, it's vampires, dog. Like, once she figured it out, everybody was on board. Nobody questioned her. Nobody second guessed her. Nobody said, nah, you tripping. They saw that 116th girl get shot in the face, run away. His brother comes back to life, and they see fat ass cornbread outside trying to eat my man's arm. She's like, "These are vampires," and everybody said, "Yes, they are. What do we do?"
mm,
And she just laid out the plan, and they just followed on. There was no, and that's the one thing that I liked about this movie that I know, unfortunately, in the real world, a lot of us have trouble with as Black people, is that we don't allow a leader to lead because we're always questioning the goal. Like even right now, where we're dealing with like the shit that's going on in this country, and like I'll use the Target boycott. Right at first, people was just like, "Why are we doing that? Why are we boy? It's not going to work." Now, guess what? Month later, 2 months later, they're like, "Yo, we need y'all back. What? Where's Al Sharpton? We need him back. We need
Exactly.
y'all
Exactly.
back."
Where
So
is Al Sharpton, brother?
all you got to do is follow a plan. Don't question. Sometimes you just got to stop asking questions. Just do. Just get
Yeah.
to work and you'll survive. And that's what she did. She got
Hmm.
to work. And unfortunately, she didn't live, but everything that she said to do, everyone did.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, like like I said, like you said, Jordan, you basically laid it out perfectly. Like she literally was like she got the game plan going, and I actually liked the part where Cornbread, and this is obviously after the vampires had got to him when he was outside pissing. They got to him, and like his whole demeanor changed. Like, hey, he was already in the fucking. He was already a part of the crew.
Mm-hmm.
So when he, she was looking at him side. I like, you was already a part of us. Why are you asking to come in? Why don't you just come the fuck in? Like, he was just acting funny. He was like, and that's when I'm like,
Mm,
yeah. And she
they,
she was the
they
only
got
one. She was the only one that kind of picked up on it.
She
Everybody else is just
clocked it
like,
first. Yeah. She was like, "Your fat ass been in and out here all day. Why the fuck you can't come in here?"
he's like, we trying to be kind to each other. Like, all right,
Nah,
now y'all
that
got
man
something
said
here.
that's why your grease is stale. And she was like, "Get the." She was gonna beat his
He said,
ass.
excuse
oh yeah,
me, bitch.
I ain't never had no stale grease.
She ain't get offended about nothing else. That grease. He said,
yeah.
hold on, wait a minute, you fat fuck.
Let me tell you something, man. Look, look like the quick. Well, not so much now because we losing that part of our history, unfortunately. But the quickest way to get your ass beat and cussed out is to tell an old school black mama like they don't like they cooking this trash.
Yeah,
Boy,
That's
boy.
the quickest way to get your ass lit up.
you get
Hey,
fucked up in
hey,
these parts.
hey! I tell you right now, them fights at our family reunion, because who decided to cook who and what and cook what,
Yep.
nigga. My granny was the oldest of the family. She had 10 sisters and 5 brothers. When I tell you, they almost got to fist fights. I'm like, hey, I'm like, I'm trying to eat. What's going on? They, my granny would make like my granny made most of the meals, but like she's like, I ain't doing this shit. Like the one family she ain't feel like doing shit doesn't to everybody else. It was a 30-minute fight, a 30-minute fight, like just between all the old heads. My granny said, "If y'all don't shut the fuck up," she shot a shotgun in the inside of a building, dog.
Damn.
I hear boom. Oh shit! Like, what? I'm sick, nigga.
Man,
I'm traumatized.
them old Southern ladies don't play, man. They don't
Mm-hmm.
play about their cooking.
Not
They
about
They
that
sure
don't.
don't.
cooking. She will kill you
Yes, sir.
over that
So
cooking stuff.
next up we got Miss Perline, played by Jamie
Ooh,
Lawson.
Ah, the
Jesus
fussing,
Christ.
Yeah,
fussing,
thoughts,
This is
man. Like,
chocolate, bruh. This is premium
fussing.
chocolate right here.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
That's a fine ass woman too. Woo.
That's a beautiful woman for
I ain't
real.
gonna lie, man. Like, look, she popped up on the screen. I'm like, yeah, I'm locked in.
Yes,
I'm
yeah.
locked in.
I look. I'm a happily married man, right? Loving family, love my daughter, love my life. I saw this woman on screen and I almost forgot.
They gonna
That
wipe
woman
out.
is beautiful,
Fine as hell,
beautiful,
boy. Country.
and and
Southern fine as hell.
and I think what messed me up was she has these looks, and this picture may not be her best look, but she was giving Preacher Boy some looks that if she gave me them looks,
I'm
man, I would have
telling you.
been. I'm folding. It's over.
Origami.
It's over. Like a fucking table at Domino's, folding.
And that nigga said, can I just won't taste it.
I
You so
won't
pretty.
taste it, girl.
You so pretty.
That's
I
you,
just won't
pretty.
taste it. I said, this nigga
She
just like
said,
me.
brother, first off, she's married.
Yeah.
And
She said, no, no, no. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. She's married. She walked from wherever the fuck that train station was to this juke joint. I'm
yeah,
sure that was some miles that she put on her feet. And it was
yeah.
some miles that she had on her that my man, Preacher Boy, was like, nah, I'm going to munch it. I'll
I'm
munch it. I don't
he
care.
said he said I'm eating. Ah.
He said, I want to know what your day tastes like. That's it.
Hey,
Yeah,
I just
I
want to know
mean,
where you been.
yeah, I don't know. 30 was a wild time, boy, but like it's similar to the saliva thing. Like, as soon as she said, like, yeah, let me first, I say, all right, cool. Wash from back there, do what you got to do. But Preacher Boy was like, fuck all that.
Look,
I'm not
man,
here.
that nigga ain't never had
that
a
man
cup of
was
tea in his
freaking
life,
off.
boy.
Preacher Boy is freaking off, man. I ain't mad at it at all.
Yeah, yeah, that was a funny part.
Shout out to the munches in this movie.
Yeah, shout out to the
Let's
real,
bring
shout out to
this
the
back,
real
bro.
eaters of
Let's
the
bring
world.
munches back. That's real niggas right there.
Shout out to the eaters, all of them, every
Shout
single
out
one.
to all the eaters for
Vampire or
Yes,
real.
sir.
non-vampire.
Even my man, even Asian yo was in there talking about, yo, man, he know what I know what you taste like. I'm like, dog.
Hey,
That's it's like,
nothing wrong
yo.
with it.
Yo,
I'm like, look here.
oh,
I respect it.
Hey, shit,
nah,
nothing wrong with it.
But nah, Pearline, when she was on that stage and she was on her knees doing them fucking humping thumping joints,
shit.
Lord Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would give it up right then and there,
That
brother.
would have been it. Yes, sir.
So
I'm
look,
falling.
well, let's talk about it, cause since we got her on the screen, and basically that whole juke joint scene, the music scene is basically what got our boy preacher boy to the cheeks. So let's
Yeah.
talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. He did his thing, man.
That man said, take me to the yams.
He said, "Can I get to
Look,
the yams?"
he was
Look,
on his Charlie Wilson, boy.
yeah,
No, but
man.
now I don't want to speak for y'all, but honestly, for me, this is honestly probably my favorite scene of the film. This whole musical, like I said, man, range
I'll
of
say this.
emotions.
No,
I'll say this. Right.
no, no,
It's look. I'll let you rock. I'll let you rock, Ron. Go ahead, bro. You
no.
got you. You got the
You know
flow.
why it isn't good? Because if it didn't have it didn't have a rhythm to it. It felt like it was just him putting shit on top of things, where you can just the song can be mastered into the different like arts of that's just kind of like hip hop and rock. You could do that song and like remix it through and flow it through. It just felt like it was just on top of things, on top of things, and it felt like, oh, okay, like I get it.
So the
I get it. I get the importance of the like the scene, but the thing about it, it was just kind of like it felt very convoluted, and like I'm like, oh, okay, you could have not done this. I could have, you could have had an intern at Nike done this shit and it would have been way better.
okay,
Like
so I'm sorry. Just to make sure I'm following you. So you basically didn't like it because it wasn't like structured like a traditional song. You felt like it was more of a demo session where like a nigga just running through random shit to see what worked.
it felt like he just played the song through, and then like niggas is just adding shit, and you're just like, what the fuck, what the fuck is what is that, what is that,
I
oh
see what
what,
you're saying. I see
Yeah.
what
why
you're
is this
saying.
bitch twerking to the hymns, like what's and then like they try to put bounce into it. I'm like, no, you could have just you could I personally would just a shot of him, just it's him singing.
Like
You can
solo in the joint by
it's
himself.
and you could just go boom, this like you could do a Jimi Hendrix, like a boom, a boom, a boom, like different like different things that's inspired through this like artist.
Yeah.
So you like a dun, like it's like flashbacks of like dun, like them playing or something like that, like and it would have hit, it would have like made sense too. It would like you could did it all the way through that whole song, not just like add shit on. But like, it's a great visual. It just felt like okay, this could have been
I get what
not
you're
good.
saying. I get what you're saying, right? I think I understand where you're coming from. Trust. I think that what he was trying to, I mean, you know what he's trying to illustrate,
Yeah,
but I think that the way that you could have done it, because I kind of had a little bit like there was a couple of parts where I was kind of like a little disconnected, or not even disconnected. It was kind of like, all right, I get it, nigga. That was what I was thinking, right? Um, I think the song was great. Like you said, if you was able to mix the song into the genre, right? Or even like you said, maybe if it's Preacher Boy playing the song, and then he's evolving through time, right? Maybe that's the thing. But I think what Ryan Coogler wanted to do was he wanted to show everybody's connection to their own shit, right?
yeah.
So like that's why you saw like the Chinese dances in there too, because they had the Chinese characters there, whatever. So I think he was just trying to like show that music can branch off into all of these different aspects of culture, right? And I think that's what
Yeah.
he's trying to say. Like you said, could you have made it a little bit neater or a little bit more? Yeah, of course. But I think for me, the power in that scene is knowing how music is influential. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Because like thinking about what blues meant to us, why we played blues in the first place, and how a lot of that ended up starting to get stolen from us by like the Elvis Presleys of the world,
Mm-hmm.
or like how we made rock music and that got stolen from us, and like how we made country music and that got stolen from us. So like a lot of stuff that we innovated, obviously we had this conversation just not that long ago of black people starting shit, black people initiating shits, black people creating, and how they take it from us and try to make it into their own shit. I just
Hmm.
like the fact that we was able to connect to a root of like this is music that we've created and look at all of the music that has come from this root.
Yeah.
And I think that was what I liked about that scene.
Yeah, that's like perfectly describes it because it shows like a lot of shit. Like music, black people have always been the forefront of music.
Yeah.
It's so fucking like it pissed me the fuck off. I promise you. I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland. The smallest fucking section for the blues players. These big ass sections for like Elvis and fucking like the Beatles. I'm like, fuck all that. Like we know where rock music came from. Like you shouldn't have a little thing for Little Richard like on the
Right.
side.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
the
why
people.
isn't Chuck Berry's thing bigger than Elvis's? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Shit
yeah,
like
like
that.
the Chuck Berrys of the world, like Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder,
Yeah.
like like people innovate a lot of shit and never gets credit for it. Like
Yeah.
fuck that. That's so fucking annoying. And like having this scene where it just embodies all everything that black people like influence
Yeah.
is like a beautiful sight to see. Like it really is. Because shit, sometimes you'll never get your flowers when you fucking hear. It's good.
Yeah.
He got his flowers when he was fucking like he got his flowers and everything. Because Chuck Berry get that shit. Chuck
Yeah,
Berry didn't
man.
really
Right.
get that shit like that. Like
Chuck
Little
Berry didn't get his
Richard.
credit until people started uncovering that Elvis stole from the nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chuck Berry probably shoot that nigga if he had a chance. Shit.
Probably would, yes, sir.
Yeah. Little Richard was out here getting bras. They said, "No, we're gonna need you to gay it up a little bit," and that's where the whole effeminate thing came from. Because
Yeah.
Hmm.
he was out here getting broads, and like especially on the white side of things, they
Hmm.
was feeling them. Like go back and
Hmm.
look at early Little Richard stuff. He wasn't always like what we knew, or like what he became.
Yeah, what he
They,
became.
they yeah, they
But
basically said,
like,
"No, we need you to effeminate up, gay it up a little bit to kind of
but
like
then
move
to
away from
kind of
the
even
sex symbol stuff."
my bad, but even to kind of build up on that, you don't get a Prince without a Little Richard. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like you said, you branch off of innovators. Innovators create and then they influence. And
Yeah.
the influences are the ones that are able to take what that, what you start with and build and create like this whole different lane with it. So like like I said, with that scene, um like it was powerful, man. It was powerful, and even like you said, you could find issues with it, and there's nothing wrong with having judgment on it. But I think overall, just the power of the scene. Obviously, that's what brought the vampires over because they saw the power too. They saw the power in Preacher Boy's voice and what he was able to do, and even just without that scene, thinking about the first time Preacher Boy plays with Smoke, right, and
Mhm.
how he looks at him, he's like, "What?" Like everybody in the theater that I was in, we all kind of looked at each other too, like, where the fuck did this voice come from? And like that was the same look that Michael B. Jordan gave to old boy, was just like, whoa, where is that coming from? And just knowing that again, like this is his first role. He's a musician first, and he doesn't play guitar. He learned how to play guitar for this movie. It's amazing to see like the amount of talent that was in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the casting was lit. And basically, I don't have too much to add to it, because Jordan, I really think you summed up the scene perfectly. I would just say that normally when I watch a film, especially especially when it's a period piece, when you try to like add modern things to it, it kind of like takes me out of the universe a little bit. Like for example, one of the biggest reasons why I couldn't stand the Tupac movie. There's a lot of reasons, but one of the main ones is they got this dude up on social media, fucking Twitter. They got him pulling up Twitter and
Yeah,
Facebook. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
that's
No,
nasty.
Hey
Yeah.
yo, check it out.
at
I'm
least be
Tupac.
I'm
like
Tupac.
they got this man doing IG lives and shit. I'm like, come on, man. At least stay true to the era that the man came up in.
Right,
But
right.
I feel like with this, the music, to kind of like add on to your point about the influences and things of that nature, I really feel like for me, what I took away from it was how we basically, our culture, our people have always used music as a way to kind of like try to like work our way through like the pain and the bullshit.
Hmm.
So basically to me that's what kind of hit me when they kind of went from like the blues, they got some jazz influences in there. Like you said, they had a little bit of the Chinese culture in there. Then for whatever reason, it turned into like a Missy Elliott video. Everybody twerking and shit. I'm like, at first, I'm like, but then when I took a
I didn't need the twerkers and I ain't need the DJ. I ain't
yeah,
gonna hold you.
yeah, it
We
was
could have done
wild.
without them too.
It was
It's
wild, but
hard.
like you said, I kind of got the symbolism that it was going for with it, so I let it slide. But when I saw the twerking at first, I'm like, "Fuck, are we doing, bro? You taking me, you losing the plot a little bit on me." But I
You
understood what
could
he
have
was going
made
for.
if Pearline was twerking out, have been with it though.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Give
I'm
me
like,
make Pearline be a twerker. Why couldn't she twerk?
yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
all right, bro, start the killing.
Oh shit.
No,
So next,
the one person I think like who influenced a lot of people like James Brown. Like a lot of people don't talk about James
Oh,
Brown,
absolutely.
but
absolutely.
that motherfucker cold dog
Yeah.
ain't saying none of them words. But hey, that's hell,
Yeah,
I mean, look,
hell of
James
a
Brown, he problematic dude, but you can't deny his influence.
nigga shot up a officer. Somebody uses taller than that way, bro. I respect
Uh,
it.
James Brown
That
special.
nigga said. That nigga said. You have a bathroom?
Mm.
What? Boom.
I mean,
Nigga walks.
that's one of the pioneers of stage presence right there. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Just like how to put together a show for the live audience, how to put together like how to create yourself as the superstar. Like that's what a lot of those elements you would see in like a Michael Jackson, a Beyonce today of what how James Brown used to put together his
yeah, like
performances. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I promise you, they be like, oh, Elvis used to do the no, nigga.
No, he didn't.
It was motherfucking the Funkadelics. It was Earth, Wind and Fire. It was
The
goddamn Bootsy
yep.
Collins. It was
the
fucking
Isleys,
the Isley
Yeah.
Brothers, Rick James, nigga.
uh,
Uh, like it was them
the
them that
Jackson Five. You
they
know what I'm
got
saying?
Shit,
the
throw Barry
fucking
White in there. He was
nigga
around too.
Charlie
Yeah,
Wilson in the Gap Band,
and
nigga.
the
Like
goddamn
every
yeah.
the
Frankie Beverly, throw him
stylistics,
in there. Gotta shout him out. Rest in
frankly,
peace.
frankly Beverly, the stylistics, just everybody who just like had a presence, and they always tend to like, oh, well, the Beatles and the fucking Elvis and like fucking them whack
They
ass
would just
rock
stand still and
singers.
play the guitar. Honestly, like let's
This
be
nigga,
real. Every single Beatles performance I've ever seen has been the three of them standing up and playing the guitar, and one of the nigga on drums. That's it. They don't move, they don't dance, they don't.
yeah, because it's
There's
Jumanji.
no choreography, there's no stage. They just stand up and sing, and they're great at singing and they're great at playing. But none of it is like none of it makes me want to see them. You know what I'm
No,
saying? Like I'm not going for an experience. Beyonce selling out shows as we speak. Usher selling out shows as we speak because they put on performances. They bring you into the show.
and my
They
nigga
make
Bobby
you part
Smart,
of it.
I think Bobby
My, ni-
Smart only sold like 10 tickets to.
look, my niggas. All I'm gonna say is go back and watch some Michael Jackson footage, concert footage. You saw that nigga losing weight on stage.
Brother.
That
Like
Michael
nigga,
Jackson would
that
stand
nigga come
still.
out.
Michael Jackson would stand still and the crowd was going crazy.
Nigga,
He didn't have to
people were
move.
dying, dog. People were
They were
dying.
literally passing out
yeah,
Nigga,
because
people were literally dying.
his aura was too powerful.
yeah. Yep, they
Nigga,
say like at one point in time, the two most famous people on the face of the planet, Jesus Christ and Michael Jackson. Like
Yeah,
literally, that's the only Michael you could say where everybody know what you talking about. Michael.
yeah.
That's it.
mhm,
There's only one. I agree.
Let me
like,
see.
and go
All
ahead.
right, next up we got Omar Miller, cornbread. He was a sharecropper and a
10
bouncer.
freaky gals.
I'm
10
sorry, man. Like
freaky gals.
I know this brother that had a prolific career, TV shows, the whole bit, but I can't not ever think about him and not think about 8 Mile. Like
Yeah.
Everybody in the
that's the one thing I
313.
associate
That's
him
the
with.
only look. Every time I see him, I'm just going, oh, it's 8 Mile. I don't ever. He's not Omar Miller yet, bro. He's always 8 Mile to me.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, it's
Exactly.
8 Mile.
I think the first time I saw him was in Ballers, actually.
You
He
saw
was
him in
in,
balls before 8 Mile?
yeah, I never,
Oh, you just watched 8 Mile? Okay, I see what you're saying. Nah.
I
When I
actually
saw
never
him in
watched.
ballers, I was like, oh, shit, it's 8 Mile.
Yes.
I've never watched 8 Mile.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. Put it on the list, though. I've never watched
Oh,
Eight
so
Mile.
you don't know about 10 freaky gals.
I just know about everybody in 313. That's all I know. I know the ending scene. That's all it is.
All I gotta say,
Slam dunk.
at least watch it for Lotto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, Omar. No, he's a funny actor, man. Like for real. Like he's a funny actor. He's a smart guy. Um, I don't think I could have seen anybody else do what he did in this movie, as far as just like be like the big dumb nigga. But
Pretty
he
much, yeah.
didn't. But he wasn't like he wasn't dumb to the point where it was an insult. Like he was
Yeah.
just kind of just like the friendly giant, basically.
Yeah, and then that's a he the muscle like he like a Michael Clark Duncan type
Yeah,
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 that's a good comparison.
like he's like the muscle he's like the like, but he's just like he's still nice as hell about it.
And
yeah.
honestly, even though they like I said, they kind of like played him off as like not dumb, but just kind of like unassuming. He still has some discernment to him because remember when Smoke and Stack first approached him, he's like, "Nah, I'm just out here trying to work. I'm out
Yeah,
here trying to do my, go home to my wife and all." And then as soon as they started talking that money shit, that fly money shit to him, like, "Hey, she might let you put a
but
peck
it
in the
wasn't
mouth."
even him. It was his wife. His wife was like, "Yo, go make that bread, boy.
I was like, "Damn!" She gave him that look, like, "Yeah,
Like, go
you need to
get
listen
it.
to him."
Go get it. We got a baby on the way. Go get it. My
Cause
feet hurt."
he was about to start throwing hands when the man started talking shit on
He's,
his wife. She said,
Mm.
"No, go get it."
she said, "No, nigga, you better get that money." No, the funny thing, he's like, "I think I should compensate it." The nigga had his hand out. He said,
Brother. When he had his head out, I would have threw that money at him like Floyd Mayweather. He
"Nigga,
would
yes."
have like, don't I ain't crossing this threshold, bro.
Like, let me
Yeah,
in.
take this to the face. Go home.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
take these wooden coins, bro.
No, yes. Fuck out of here, bro.
Fuck
Like,
out of here. You want your
All right.
money.
All right. So next
Talk
up,
about
we
my
got
girls, greasy fish.
You get the fuck out. Honestly, I will say this. This is the look I get when I like Jada Park and them pop up on my screen. Like, come on in, ladies. Come
hey,
on in.
hey,
Everybody welcome.
we supposed to be
Welcome to the
kind
juke
to each
joint.
other.
Oh man. All right. So next up, we got a certified legend of the game. Got Delroy Lindo.
Elroy damn Lindo, man.
Hey
Delta
man,
Slim.
He don't get enough flowers at all.
this nigga don't miss
Look,
at all in the
Well,
heat
some
of the
might say
moment.
for Crooklyn, but I don't know. I'm kind of sentimental because I saw it as a kid, so I know that's
yeah,
not Spike's best. But that and Clockers is the other one. I'll always say he deserved like big time props for.
Oh,
yeah.
no, you know what
Elroy,
he really,
he's a
you know
black
what he
all
really
star.
deserved. What he really deserved for the Five Bloods. That
Yes,
shit. That's one of the best fucking films I've ever seen. And that
yeah,
dialogue of him losing his mind, slowly losing his mind because he don't got poison or some shit.
yeah.
Dog, just,
He don't get enough. He don't get
perfect.
enough flowers. He don't.
He really don't.
Like he's on the level with like with the who you call it to the world, like the boy that played Pinky in Friday, what's that man name?
Clifton Powell.
Clifton Powell. Yeah, he's like on that level to me. But like
Like,
we give Clifton Powell, like at least in Black Hollywood, we give him enough flowers, and we give other people though. But Dober's right up there with them, man. He's right up there with them. He been doing it for a long time, and even in this movie, he was kind of like the Swiss Army knife in the movie because he had to be comic relief. He had to be a hero. He had to be like a mentor. You know what I'm saying? Like he did a lot of different things in the movie, and he did them all well.
he did perfectly.
Yeah, he was amazing. He was amazing. There was an interview I watched with him where the scene that he had where he was talking about his him and his friend when he was in jail. He said that he improvised a lot of that scene,
Oh
and
shit.
that like he not the scene itself, like the dialogue was not improvised, but as he's telling the story and when he started breaking out into that song that we started humming, he said he improvised that, and then when he did that, they also improvised Preacher Boy playing the guitar to match him. So he said that a lot of his stuff was improvised based on how he felt. And he was just like he was so locked in this character that he was just like he just felt like he could just do whatever he wanted, and Brian Coogler kind of gave him that space. So I just want to give him his props for being amazing in this movie.
No, he was perfect in this movie. As somebody said, like, bro, Bernie Mac would have been great in this movie too.
Yeah, I think this would have been Bernie Mac's role.
Yeah, Bernie Mac would have
He
fucking
would have bodied
murdered.
this. He would have bodied this.
Yeah.
Cause like he like you said, he was like very versatile. Like he had to be comic relief, he had to be the mentor, he had to be like, you know, the wise old man about things. Like he just had to do so many awful things. And like him, how the way he went out, he said, "Fuck it, I'm sacrificing myself." He don't give a shit. Like,
Yeah.
and like him looking back on his own mortality, like, damn, like I'm kind of fucking threw my life away, but fuck it, hey,
Yeah,
that yak calling, nigga.
He was happy. He was good though. He was like, look, I fucked up in my life, but hey man, as long as you got this liquor, I'm gonna be here for as
Hey,
long as I can.
yeah,
he said that yak calling, so I'm gonna be there, buddy.
We got Irish beer and what was the other shit? It was Irish beer and whatever whiskey from fuck wherever else they stole it from. And my man was like, wait, Irish beer? Hold up. You ain't he ain't said nothing. I'll be there.
That nigga
exactly.
shut that shit down like his life depended. I was like, oh damn, brother.
Yeah, he drank that shit and
Yeah, and I'm hoping that the buzz that this movie has been getting kind of like reignites some respect on Delroy Lindo name, because I put him in that category with like you said, like with a few actors that always body whatever they in. You know, you got Delroy Lindo, you got Lorenz Tate, you got Bokeem Woodbine, where like whatever they pop up in, you know they gonna give you some quality shit. I don't care
What's
what
his
it
name?
is.
What's his name? Wood Harris.
Oh yeah, well yeah, he's another one.
Dog,
But
he
yeah,
had he played Spencer Haywood in that Lakers thing, bro. He did this dialogue. I gotta show you this shit. This shit was so incredible. He did a dialogue like how he was born, like he was like blind. He's like born kind of like blind or some shit, and like he can only hear like the whistle of like a slave owner whistle, and that used to mess that traumatized them all the time. That's why he did all the drugs he did and shit. It's a it's a really good scene. Like it's
oh, I know what you're talking about with in the winning time, John, right?
yeah. I still hate they canceled that. It was so good.
Yeah, that was good. That was really good.
yeah. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, but definitely, if you're not familiar with the game, the work of Delroy Lindo, please peep game and like look his stuff up, y'all. Y'all won't regret it.
Facts.
Uh, Next up, let me see. Actually, last up in terms of like the main cast that I wanted to talk about, Lee Jun Lee.
Oh
Oh boy.
brother, get
Yeah,
her
she was
out of
Grace.
here.
Grace Chow. She was Bo's wife, the shopkeeper that they went
Yeah,
to kind of like get the juke joint in terms of like the ambiance, the sign.
she
She was
made the
basically
signs. Yeah,
yeah, she did all that. And this is a little bit of a controversy amongst certain segments of the culture. Some people say like she was a sellout, but then Jordan brought a different perspective to it because he's a parent, she's a parent in the film,
look.
and I'm like, once you kind of broke that aspect down to me, I kind of like got where you was coming from, and I started to turn a little bit. I'm like,
So
and then I did a rewatch on it. I'm like, yeah, I can understand. Like she looking out for a kid.
like I said, I'll say it here since we on the joint, right? So I'm a parent. I got an 18-month-old at home, with a wife. So now my wife and I we watched it together in the theater, and our child was home with my mom babysitting. We're in the car after the movie, and so we'll just say the scene was basically the husband gets turned. The husband tries to lure her out. She knows that she can't go because she don't want to turn into a vampire. But then what Remick does is he's like basically like, yo, I know your husband. I know all his secrets because I know how you like to get eaten out. I know you got a daughter at home. And what the movie did in the first part was it let us into their family, where we see that they own two stores, they own two shops on opposite sides of the street. One basically runs one runs the other, and the daughter bounces between both because that's the family business. They leave the daughter to mind the businesses so they can go help out at the juke joint. So what the movie did was it splits the parents up by saying one of them is turned, one of them is not, but the one that's turned has influence because he can go home and all he gotta do is ask his daughter to let me in, and now you can turn your daughter. She is a mother. She knows that if I stay in this place, I can run the risk of them getting to my daughter. What am I going to do? Either I'm going to go out there And if I go out there, I can get turned, and then it's over anyway, because then we turn our daughter and we're all fucked up. Or I gotta kill him to save my daughter. So what she did, is she did the thing that happened in Avengers Endgame, where Star-Lord gets mad and fucks up the plan against Thanos, and she just says, "Fuck it, all y'all come in, let's go." And now they all lined up and they all armed up and they start stabbing, and that's when the violence happens. That's when it all goes to hell.
Yeah.
My wife and I in the car were talking about it, and we both are on opposite sides of it, but we both understand. And at first, I was with y'all. I was like, "Yo, she's dumb. Why would she do that? That's fucked up. You fucked up the plan for everybody." But my wife is like, "Yo, if we have to go home and our daughter is home and one of us is now evil, would you want her to be with an evil parent?" And I had to be like, shit,
Shit.
you're right. I wouldn't want, if I knew that I have to save my daughter and the only way I could save my daughter is to clap my wife who's evil, I probably got to clap my wife to save my daughter. And my wife was like, I would clap you in a heartbeat to save my daughter. So it's just kind of like what happened here was she had to make a choice to save her daughter. And the only way she knew to do that was to invite all these niggas in and run the risk of everybody else. But, it's a selfish choice. I'm not saying that it's a good choice. It's a selfish choice because it's all about her and her life. But as a parent, there's not a lot of things you're going to be able to say you aren't willing to do for your kid. Mm-hmm. And if that means that other people got to go for your kid to live, then sometimes other people got to go.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then like when you kind of like want to look deeper into it, take the kid element out of it. The fact that she was even there to begin with, because she's a fellow minority, so she already understood the struggle. So I think under normal circumstances, if you take the kid aspect out of it, she would have been down for the cause. But once she kind of like thought about her kid, that changed the whole dynamic. It was like, hey, look, I got to do what I got to do. No disrespect to anybody else here, but like I got to do what I got to do for my kid. So when you look at it from that perspective, anybody that got kids probably would have did the same thing. It would have been black people in there doing the same thing with kids. Like, look, I love y'all, but I love my daughter more.
Yeah. I like that they put, then that's why the first part of the movie is so important of us getting to know these people. And basically it's like a team, right? Yeah. We're getting to meet the team and we're getting to know what they're motivated by. So she is motivated by her family. Both of them are, but one of them is out. So now her job is to protect what's left of her family. And all she knows how to do is if we're both out, if he's out the game, then my daughter's safe. That was it. She didn't even really mourn with the fact that her husband was gone, that he got turned. She was more kind of tight, like, God damn it, you got caught. That was really what she said. But once she realized, oh shit, if he's turned, that means he could turn her. That's when she was like, nah, we out. I gotta go finish this.
Yeah, and the way she was honestly like when she let everybody in, she was ready to set it off. So she was ready for some action.
She set herself on fire.
Yeah,
and stabbed people up.
Yeah. And stabbed her husband. And they both died together.
She wasn't playing.
Look,
that was the one target that she had. Mm-hmm. She was like, "Look, the rest of y'all figure it out, but this the one thing I gotta do."
Yeah. So that basically covers like the main cast that I wanted to talk about. So now I guess at this point we can just kind of like just final like random thoughts on like the overall structure of the film, favorite scenes. One of my personal favorite scenes kind of goes underrated. Remember the scene like early on with the little girl, the 10-cent deal?
Yes.
I thought that was fire. I don't know who that little girl is, but she did a thing. She did a thing, man.
Yeah. That was fire.
I shot my nigga like that.
He shot like, let me teach you about negotiation. And like, look, he was good about it. Like, he was like, look, don't just take what somebody give you. Like, negotiate.
Mm-hmm. But that also speaks to the character. I think that was Stack or Smoke. I can't see. I can't remember which one. That was Smoke. Okay, that speaks to the difference between the two brothers, right? So like, Smoke is the businessman. And he's cutting deals or whatever, but he's also got a heart of gold because now he's in this town that he grew up in. He don't want other people taking advantage of anybody. So he was like, "Yo, um, this is how you get along. This is how you get ahead, girl. Like don't like you said, don't take anything that I'm giving you. You could know the value of yourself."
Yeah,
And that was the one, that was something I really liked about the movie, was that it just kind of like it allowed you to see that even though these are fucked up people, they got good in them.
yeah. And honestly, like yeah, like you said, they got fucked up like values and morals in terms of the overall world. But I feel like Smoke and Stack, when it came down to like their people, they was just like they was like cool. They was trying to look out because they only honestly, if you think about it, the only people they really treated like shit was like the hog wog nigga in the beginning that they bought the juke joint from or bought
Oh,
the property from at
Mhm.
the time.
because he was a clan nigga.
Yeah, but when it
I
came to
mean,
us, like when it came to like black folk, like yeah, they would like joke on people, but for the most part, they was always down for the culture. They just
they
was like
shot
they just
they
didn't
they
have
shot,
like
they shot a nigga
high
too.
morals. Trying to think.
I just want to say, um, they could have survived. A could have survived.
They could have.
Yeah.
Every single person could have survived. You know, the white girl with her white girl intentions, like maybe they nice. No, bitch, they are evil.
Yeah,
And
but here's the thing with her
she
was,
had to be sacrificed for that to happen. So that's
but
how.
yeah,
But the thing about it, you should have said, okay, I need to leave.
but see, that's why they use her, was because like they're counting up the money, but it's not enough money to make. Because remember, they're getting plantation money and they're getting real money, and the real money is the money that they're looking for. The plantation money can only be spent in certain places, so they're like,
Yeah,
this ain't it. We're not making nothing out of this. So the only reason why she even went out there was, yo, I'm gonna go get that cash, daddy. That was basically her
I'm
job.
your bank hands dead. Now she's dead.
Then she got clapped, of course.
Yeah,
Yo, can
my
I
thing.
say, when she was out there and she turned around and that motherfucker floated,
I said, oh,
I said, "Oh shit!"
you done, baby, you done.
I said, "It's up."
My thing was like, my main thing was like, couldn't you just let one person in at a time and just fucking shot him, stabbed him? All right, bitch. Am
Like,
I
Nah,
tripping? Am I tripping? Like you can just say one at a time. Let him in. Okay, cool.
nah,
I don't know. I don't. I mean, I think you guys got to operate under the idea that they were probably way too stressed to think about something like that. You know what I'm saying?
and
Yeah,
also like honestly, like you got to look like to me that's more like pro wrestling shit where niggas will just come in one at a time and wait to get and wait for the main nigga to fuck them up. Next one, they get
Yeah.
fucked up. In real life, if you see a situation like that, everybody just gonna gang rush, bum rush you, and they ain't
Right.
gonna just they ain't just gonna come in watch one person get clapped. All right, that one fucked up. All right, I'm next. That wouldn't have been
Because then all
realistic.
they would have had to do is, if they see that happening, they're like, "All right, then fuck it. We just gonna go out here and go get all these niggas outside."
Yeah,
They would just spread out. And that's exactly why that's why Grace did what she did. But she was like, wait, hold up. If he's out there, my daughter's out there, she's vulnerable. So, ultimately it had to come to a big ass fight.
yeah.
It was just, I'm just glad that when the fight started happening, that people was out there. They was bucking. Nobody ran from a fight. Everybody had stakes, everybody had stabbies, everyone had guns, and they was all going to work. I appreciated it.
Yo, was it the first time that white girl ate them bullets and he said, "All
mm,
right, I'm out."
Ooh.
I said, oh, "Hey, yo."
Yeah.
I said, "Who? Yeah, this is I did Twilight vampires. What's going on?"
Mm-mm.
yo, yo, since we talking about, I gotta say this, man. Like one of the most cold blooded lines captured on film for me. Y'all remember when Mary first ran up on Stacks early on,
Hmm.
and she was
Yeah.
basically giving them shit about like, look, just buried my mom. I was hoping to see you there, because she looked out for y'all. And then he went into this whole little shit about she was just like a warm bed and a hot meal for me. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, that was
I was like,
That was
Like,
oh
some real
shit.
nigga shit right there, boy.
that was cold as hell, man.
I was like,
Like,
That
all
was
right.
cold.
I was like,
damn.
all right,
I'm
brother.
like, damn. I know, like y'all ain't fucking.
He
And then
said,
she
yeah.
started getting loud. You ain't say all that when you had this. You fucked the shit out. I'm like, oh
Man,
shit.
He's like,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
you let them
yeah.
know.
She was like, you ate my coochie and fucked the shit out of me. I thought you returned. He's like,
Uh,
some
Can you
more.
keep
he
that shit
said, "You
down?
don't
Like
want to
you.
steal. You want to steal this coochie for one night." I'm like, "God damn."
He was like, hey, show me some goddamn.
Uh,
Dr.
that's
Umar will have to understand.
Yeah,
yeah. I ain't gonna lie. Mary could have
that
got
nigga should
some.
have been in the movie. Nigga been the first hotep nigga in the
Yep.
movie.
He's like, "Don't trust that snow bunny over there."
He was like,
Nah.
oh, movie over. Movie
I'll
over.
say this. Like I don't know, man. Like if Coogler, if he really wanted to be a troll, which is what I would have went for in this film, with Remnick, I would have named that nigga Vlad.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
That
God.
that would have that would have been. I mean, look,
Mm-hmm.
the symbolism with the culture vulture
Yeah,
that would have been
Yep.
perfect.
yeah. That's
I'm just
that's
saying.
good.
I'm just saying. You could turn this into Blade. I'm just saying.
Nah.
You
No, I
could you
mean,
could turn
like
this
Blade low key was more of a comedy than anything else.
Sinister
Yeah.
versus feature Blade. Sinister feature Blade.
Sinners 2 with Blade.
Sinister feature Blade. Just hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. First of all, it's just Blade is like it's a 1950s. It's still Jim Crow. That nigga Remy still out here. They all still out here. And he just like vampire killer. But like he from the future. He from the future. He know about the shit already. He trying to stop it.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm just bullshit. But
Hey,
like,
Hey,
shoot Ryan Coogler an email, bro.
but
You
hey,
never know.
nigga, you ever seen Blade?
I love Blade.
yeah,
That's crazy. Like, how could you? How did they? Bro, you had the niggas right. Like Marshall Ali, he's one of them actors too. That perfection. Like, oh, he's so fucking good. You got
Yeah.
him on. Like, you got him on, and you couldn't finish Blade, which is
Yeah,
crazy.
no, yeah. Marvel's fucking up with that. I don't know why they pump faking on that shit. I don't know what's going on.
Bring out that whack ass Thunderbolts. That shit was that. Fuck
yeah,
that shit was okay. Almost did a new event. Fuck off.
I enjoyed
nah,
it. I ain't gonna hold you. I liked it.
It was
yeah. But if
alright.
y'all,
And
yeah,
them niggas get
But
packed
like I
out.
said, Sinners is probably like I've left that movie theater and I'm like, this is probably the best movie I've seen in like a decade. Like
Yeah.
legit. Like I walked out that theater feeling different. And what I was expecting was I was expecting I don't know what I was expecting. I think what I have issues with sometimes with black movies is that a lot of times we end up losing, right?
yeah,
Like
Mm-hmm.
if you're like Fruitvale Station, obviously it's based on a real life story, so that's different. But like Queen and Slim, we
No,
lost.
oh brother.
That's like I can never watch that movie again. And it's a beautiful movie. It's shot beautifully, great acting, great everything. Literally until the last 10 minutes. And you gotta turn it off after that. If you turn it off before the last 10 minutes, it's a perfect movie. But the last 10 minutes ruins the whole thing because we lose. So like to get a movie where we won, it wasn't like the win that you wanted, but we're still a win. Because
yeah,
even at the end, your man is clapping up the AKKK, and that's a
Yeah.
beautiful scene. So like it's, and I'm glad that they weren't in hoods. I'm glad that they were just outright just white people just getting clapped up because that's what the KKK is. So
Yeah.
I was happy that he was just out there bucking up because we get to that movie, we get to the end of the movie, and I remember the trailer. I'm like, yo, he has a Tommy gun. Where's the Tommy gun at? Because I'm just waiting for that scene. I'm like, yo, did they do a Tommy gun joint in the trailer and they didn't do it in the movie? And then when I saw him with the he had the arsenal on him, I was like, oh, he's about to wild out on the mind you, I'm in a theater full of white people. And I stood up
yeah.
and I said, it's going down.
And I'm
I
glad you.
literally got up and screamed and said, it's going down. And he started clapping on and I was screaming. I was like, yeah, keep going, keep going. I was
And I'm,
I was
Oh
I
shit.
was in a state of
Wait,
euphoria, dog.
wait. Did he kill himself?
He got shot and died.
yeah,
He didn't kill himself, but he got shot and died. But
Shot
like
up.
he was shot once, and that was all it took.
Yeah,
But
I was like, yeah, he got shot once. I'm like, he could have got patched up or something. Nigga in the military, you tough.
yeah, but I think he just ended up bleeding out. But because remember, he took off the mojo bag at the end, and that was basically like him, kind of like, all right, I'm ready to go.
So I'm glad you
That's
brought that
crazy.
scene up. I'm glad you brought that part up, Jordan, because I gotta shout out Roger Kugler, his intelligence, man, because basically, when he was shopping this shit around, one of his conditions was, in addition for distribution rights, he wanted first dollar gross, basically meaning
Yep,
that he made money from the get go, from day
off
one
top.
in the
Yeah,
theaters, and
hmm
final cut privilege. Now that's
yeah,
very that was a very important clause because, like you said, with the Tommy gun scene, had he not included that part, yeah, they could have let him put that part in the trailer to get people in the theater. But if somebody looked at that and take that shit out, like if
yeah.
somebody from Warner Brothers or whoever said, "No, we don't like that scene. You need to switch that up." So I'm
Right.
thinking, like in the back of his mind, he's like, "Nah, let me cover my bases because I have a certain vision." So
Nah.
if y'all
Yeah.
want the movie,
Sure.
and he also said, like, look, I also I need to own this film outright for like the next 25 years. So he gonna be making bread for a minute.
Well, he's gonna know what he did was he's gonna get the rights back in 25 years. So in
Oh yeah, yeah,
25
I'm sorry.
years, he can do what he wants with it. If he wants to make a series or if he wants to take it some he owns the movie after 25 years.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Yeah, my bad.
that's what he negotiated. Which is no,
Still
still
smart.
he's still gonna eat off of it no matter what.
Yeah,
He's
he
still a
could
young
put out
guy
the
too. He only 38,
he could
so
put
yeah,
out a director's cut right now if he wanted to. Like he could
I
put out
think
a
that's what the
director's cut.
25 years is gonna be.
yeah,
The 25 years will be the 25-year anniversary edition, director's cut, all of that's gonna come out then.
yeah,
'Cause that was smart.
Yeah,
That was
man.
smart as hell. Fuck all that.
Yes,
This
sir.
shit, that shit off of word of mouth is like, damn. Like
yeah,
that's how it usually goes. But like,
It made me get a babysitter to go see it because I was originally gonna be like, I'll wait for it to come out on streaming because that's what I've been doing since I've had the baby. But when that first week came out and everybody was like, yo, go see it, go see it, go see it, we was like, all right, we gotta go see it. We made our arrangements, went and saw it, and don't regret. And I love the fact. I'm so happy that we did.
that was incredible. Like
yeah.
Yeah,
And
incredible.
and it's
Like,
making bank. So basically, it was made on a budget of like between like 90 and 100 mil. As of May 6th, it's up to 244.6 million. So
yes, sir.
up and counting. So hopefully this is going to lead to some Oscar nominations. If there's any type of justice in this world, next year this is going to be Oscared up.
I certainly hope so.
they
I
been
hope
for
so.
every goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At least get to the season. I hope it has. I think it has legs enough to do that.
yeah,
Just because I think the issue is that because it came out so early in the year compared to like what movies normally do. My fear is that it'll get overlooked. But I hope that their marketing is strong enough to push it to get to Oscar season and hopefully get some people some nominations.
yeah.
Yeah.
And my only fear is because you and I'm not even talking about on no racial type shit. The Oscars, they're typically like biased when it comes to like what they consider like quote unquote good movies.
The
So
movies,
typically,
yeah,
like when it comes to like comedies, horror movies, any type of specific genre, if it ain't like something about like set design or some shit like that, very
yeah.
rarely will you see like a movie that's marketed as like a hardcore horror movie be like
Hmm.
nominated for anything. Same thing with a comedy. So hopefully, like people actually sit down and watch the movie and realize that horror elements are a very small part of it, and it's more of a deeper deal. Hopefully, that'll be enough to kind of like keep this momentum going.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So, any final thoughts, or can we wrap this bitch up?
I mean, I got the Knicks is about to start up, bro. So I gotta go.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Nigga said Knicks was
With,
on. I'm out.
on, on that note, guys, thanks for joining me, and thank you guys for watching. Guys, will see you on the next one.
Yes,
Peace.
sir.
Later.
Later, brother.
That was good.